Good morning. Good morning. It's Saturday, March the 16th, and I thought I'd do a little bit of a video this morning. I wanted to share a few things, so I think I'm going to wait just a few seconds to see if anybody pops in so I can greet a few greeters this morning. See who comes in.
I think I'm going to wait just a few
Oh,
seconds to
I
see
better
if
turn that
anybody.
down. There's Bob. Hi, Barb. Good morning. Hi. I just decided to do an impromptu and sit here and have my morning coffee with you this morning. It's 9:12. I got an early start today. So how are you, Barb? What you doing? What you been doing this morning? What time did you get up? Oh, good. We're doing it together. I had a good time yesterday. Uh, I started streaming about 6 o'clock, and I streamed until 8:30 my time, and then Mary came on, and she was on from 8:30 till 12. And I was up to 12, and about 12:05 I said good night. Oh, you have to babysit. Is it one of your kids, grandkids? Yes, she was on late, and of course that was just 11 o'clock her time because she's in Central and I'm on Eastern. So it was 12 for me. But I'm usually up at midnight anyway. We have this bad habit. My husband, he bought a new TV right before Christmas, and we have one in the living room. So he wanted to put this one in the bedroom, and I've been fighting it for 20 years. He's always wanted to put a TV in the bedroom, and I said, no, 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 no TV in the bedroom. Oh, okay, okay. Well, Barb, I've done respite care, and I'm a nurse's aide, certified nurse's aide by trade. Of course, I'm retired, but I've done respite care for a friend of mine whose daughter was handicapped. So I totally understand the respite care. Uh, there was a nursing facility up in Kentucky where I lived that provided the respite care for her, and I had to join their facility, and that way they paid me for doing. I got credit for doing respite care and got paid for it. It was just a few hours it was just about every day. So, but I was able to turn in a few hours every week, and I got paid for it. So, they were paying me anyway to come over and help. But since we got credit for the respite, she had that benefit. She said it would help her pocketbook if I joined the nursing facility that paid it, and I qualified. So there was no big deal. I had to just do some intro classes, and I was willing to do it. And that way, it helped their pocketbook, because they were paying everything out of pocket, for their daughter, because she was disabled for the rest of her life. Hi, Lisa. Good morning. Anyway, I just decided to come on and do something. I wanted to show you. My title is All Things Glitter. So we're going to talk about glitter this morning. And I wanted to show you my glitter collection. And I don't know where I saw the idea from, so I don't know. But somebody I had seen put their glitter in salt shakers. So, guess what I did? My husband loves to go to the flea market. And we both I like to go, but I just don't like to stay for 10 hours. I want to go for an hour and then come home. But he likes to go to flea markets, and we do like yard sales. So I saw this idea. Somebody had their glitters in a shaker, and I said, "Oh, I want to do that too." So I found me some salt and pepper shakers at the flea market, and they're just odds and ends shakers. None of them, some of them match, but none of them really match. They're all different bottles, kind of like perfume bottles. I did collect those at one time too, and so I was on the hunt for shakers, and I'm going to get them all down. I think this is all of them. These two here. Oh, there's one more. This one here and this one is silver and gold, and they are in plastic salt and pepper shakers that I got from the dollar store. Hi, Ro. Good morning. Look what we have. We're talking about all things glitter today. So anyway, uh, I know sometimes you put glitter in a baggie, or you have a cup of it, and when you open it, it falls over and spills. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I I loved the idea of the salt and pepper shakers and putting your glitter in them. And so this way, whenever I want to glitter something, I like to use my glue in a bottle, in a jar, my jelly jar. And I'm not quite sure if this is the jelly jar, but the lid fits it. So I've been pretending it was a jelly jar. I don't remember. But 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 that's definitely Welch's jelly. But anyway, I like to keep my glue in a bottle. And whenever I do glitter, I take a piece of paper, and I do have some, and I might, um, I might want some glitter on the edges or something. So for example, I'll put a little bit of glitter down like that, and I'll take my glitter, and then I sprinkle right on the glue, just like that. Not a whole lot. And I might fiddle with it a little bit, but for the most part, I take it to the garbage can and I tap it off, the rest of it off. But look how much stayed on. There wasn't that much that flipped off. And that way, you don't have to get the baggie out and pour it out and then cup it back up and pull the excess back in. I'm tapping a little bit off, but it's not that much. I think that glitter is cheap, um, because I get most of my glitter from the secondhand stores. I don't know. I have bought um, some glitter in the little square packets, and but a lot of times I stick that in Happy Meal. Okay, fix your breakfast, Lynn. I'll I'll have an egg and a piece of bacon. We'll turn you into our short order cook this morning. Anyway, I just wanted to show you my glitter collection and how you can easily um, store these things. I have two silvers, and I don't need two silvers because there's a silver. But and I have like two purples. I could easily pour all this poor purple in one and then put all my gold here, and then I can eliminate these two off of my shelf on top. But the point is, when I saw this somebody do this, they had a little, um, I think they had a little twirly stand that they put their jars on or something. And I have a one of those 9 drawers that you put your buttons and notions in. And so they sit on top and they're at my fingertips at, really quick. I can put these away. Hi, Cheryl. Good morning. Hey, looky here, Cheryl. Look at my glitter collection. I've got a glitter collection, and they're in salt and pepper shakers. So I hunted around at yard sales and flea markets for salt and pepper shakers, and they're all mixed matched. Some of them, I've got some of them that are alike. These are real old, and so that's how I come about having these. And I stick them on top of my little shelf up here, and I have my nail polish up there too. And if you ever have any old nail polish or find any old nail polish, this is glitter too. This is easy to use without making a big mess. Hi, Kim. We're talking about glittery things today. So, whatever you have in your stash, whether it be nail polish or glitter, and I have used eyeshadow before. This eyeshadow is a glittery, shimmery purple, and I got it from the Dollar Tree. And I think I have a neutral color in this, like a beige, pinky beige. But but anyway, you can use nail polish as a shimmer, as a glitter product. So do any of you have any glitter at your house on your craft table? So if you do and it's hard to store, uh, now I told you I have this little 9 drawer um, cabinet over here that's stackable. And in here I have some glitter things that I got. I think I got these at the Dollar Tree, and they come 4 or 5 in a packet. and they're little tiny strips of foil, colored foil. And I have them in all colors. I don't know if you can see the strips through the plastic container, but they're little tiny strips of glitter. Have you ever seen those before? Okay. Well, Barb, are they in containers or are they in in a little baggie? But I kept these in their original jars because that was going to make a mess. I know you're in and out, Cheryl. You're fixing breakfast. Okay, no problem. We're talking about glitter, and I wanted to know what kind of glitter you had in your corner of the world. Here is another type of glitter that I found, and they're in little tiny dots. Little dots. Let's see if I can get that to focus. There we go. And they're shimmery. And I consider that oh, okay, it's a container and you can open the lid to each color and sprinkle out. Good. That's good, Barb. Ideas, ideas. Hi. Yes, yes, Ro. We're giving out ideas. Now I got these little guys in a package from probably I'm going to say like Hobby Lobby or Michael's because there's 5 of them, and these are bigger than just glitter. They're in those little tiny dots. And I don't even know that I've ever used these guys. And we'll see if this is see if this one will focus for you. There we go. They're in little tiny dots. They look like little stop signs. But anyway, I keep these in a little drawer. But I had so many other colors of glitter. Here's some green glitter. And I didn't have um, enough space to put all of these in this drawer or in little jars in this drawer. This drawer is full already. So I found this salt and pepper shaker idea, and I don't remember who I learned it from. I didn't make it up. Somebody helped me. Yeah, oversized glitter. Uh-huh. I could use some of it on those on oh, pizza pepper shakers. Yes. Okay. Uh, a pizza a pizza shaker has a it's for like Parmesan cheese, and the holes are a little bit bigger, so it would be good for those. Well, anyway, since I had these little guys and they're small enough to fit in this drawer, that's where I keep that's where they live. And then my salt and pepper shakers I put up here on top of my shelf on display. And then I can just reach up and grab it at any, at a moment's without having to hunt for anything. And it's easy to get to. And my nail polish is up there too. But whenever you do use a little bit of glue on your art project, um, let's see if I can find something to glitter this morning. We'll glitter something. Here's a devotion that I did this morning, and I won't read the devotion part of it, but I'll show you. It was a devotion inspired by Susan Hiles. If you don't know her, it's Susan Hiles Art on YouTube, and I enjoy listening to her. And I don't know that I've ever seen her in one of my chat rooms, but maybe she'll come in and visit us one day because I think she knows some of the girls in these groups. But I've got the word play right here, and I'm going to glitter it. So I'm going to paint it with my brush. And I'm going to take, I have a glue brush, and I'm just going to take this brush and paint in the middle of my play that I have outlined. It was a magazine picture, something out of a magazine that I cut out, just the word, and it was written in a real light white, but I outlined it with ink, with my ink pen. And now I'm going to fill the middle of it up with a little bit of glue, kind of thick. And then I'll sprinkle some of my glitter on it. Oh, heart glitters and chunky glitter and glitter from the dollar store, Dollar Tree. Yep. Okay. Good. Well, this way, maybe, we can encourage each other to use our glitter a little more. I know it's messy, and we'll use some of our products up. Now, I do also have some more glitter. And they're in, oh, I've seen them in this tubes, in this kind of tubes. I've seen them in this kind of tubes from the Dollar Tree. And then I've seen them in this type of tube. These are 3 more. Hi, Nancy. We're talking about glitter, different ways to buy glitter. And so this, I like this one because it's got a pointy tip, and you can do the writing with this one. And it's a, kind of an iridescent glitter, clear. It dries clear, but the shiny part has a slight silvery white look. And then I have it in black too. This is like a black silver, or a black glitter rather. It's shiny. So you can buy glitter in all kinds of ways. And these little guys here, they have these air vents in them, and they have a tendency to get old. And I find whenever I don't use these up real fast, they get a real thickness to them that you can't do anything about. And so I try to use these guys up because they dry out. But anyway, I just did my play, and it's still wet. And this particular glue is tacky glue that with a little bit of water in it because it got real thick on me. And I was going to throw the bottle away, but I didn't. I decided to keep it and use it. So it's kind of real goopy looking, but that's okay. We're going to use it up. So I've got my play done, and while it's still wet, I'll show you how I use my glitter. Um, I'm going to use this purpley blue glitter, and I'm just going to tap it with my finger onto my wet spots, and you can see that it's coming out, and it's landing on top of the glue. And you can put as much or as little as you want. And this particular shaker has smaller holes, so it's a little slow in coming out. I'm not dumping. I'm not doing a dumping method. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your glitter. We're shaking our glitter out. Okay, now as you can see, there is a little bit of glitter outside of the glue, and that's okay. But it's not dumped on. So what I have here is I'm just going to tap it off into the garbage can so that there's no mess on my table. And there's a little bit left right in here that hasn't come off yet. It's like staticky or something. So I'm going to flick it with my finger over the garbage can until some of that comes off. And it looks like I need a little bit more right there anyway. So I can go ahead and do that. Give it a good shake. So I think that my glitter that I bought from the secondhand stores, I don't consider it enough to save that little bit that I'm flicking off. Now that that flicking on the back of the page helped flick off all that glitter that was down here. Now there's still a little bit around the edges, but we're going to let this dry. But I did some glitter on my page, and I think it's enough. I like it. I'm happy with it. And and you can always go back and add a little bit more if you want it a second layer. Hi, Christine. Good morning. Mitzi, good morning. I think I've got some other some other people in here that haven't chatted yet. So good morning to everyone. We just started streaming about a half hour ago in impromptu this morning. I thought that I'd show off my glitter collection for those of you that just came in. If you have any glitter containers that are hard to open or in a baggie, this is a good way to display your glitters at your fingertips and put them like right on top of your shelf or in a little box or something. And you can shake your glitter when you need it. And a quick, it's kind of like a quick way to get to your glitter. 6:30 where you are, Ro. Okay, where are you? I I don't know if I know where you are or not. Good morning. You got to be east of me because I'm on the East Coast. Or west of me. I'm in Florida. The great Northwest. There you go. Okay. Okay. Uh, but anyway, I just wanted to show off my glitter shakers, and the small holes have the real fine glitter, and then this one here is a little bit thicker glitter. I never saw so many different kind of glitters in my life after I started this project, collecting them. And I get all my glitter from the secondhand store, real cheap. And I've got all the glitter I think I'll ever need all my life for the rest of my life, because the way I use it and disperse it, it's just I'm just not real overly messy with it. I know I have some nieces that like to come and they like to shake the glitter, and it's on the table, it's on the floor, it's everywhere. Oh, Oregon. Okay, okay. But anyway, that's how I do my glitter. I'll shake that off again. See if there's any more excess. I will. This page closes, but I'm going to let this dry all the way before I do that, and I'll lay it over here to let it dry. So I've showed off a little bit of glitter, and also I consider metallic paint that's shiny and shimmery. You know, I consider that a glitter, a shiny glitter too. I consider that a glitter too. Hi, Teresa. Good morning. Good to see all of y'all. So whenever it says you get a prompt that says use glitter, you know, I would consider a shiny metallic. And I do have several metallics. I just recently bought these. These are this is pearl white and this is blue sapphire metallic finish acrylic paint. I got it from Walmart. And this one is American gloss enamel metallic shimmering silver. So if you don't have glitter or you don't have any glitter glue, then you could use a metallic as an equal to that prompt. So you won't be stuck. Another thing that I have that's shimmery are these gelatos. Gelatos. I have them, some of them are shimmery and some of them are opaque, solid. This is not shimmery, but this one is, and I can demo them. So I'm just trying to show you that you have a lot of options if you ever get a prompt that says glitter. So I'm going to show you right now. I'll show you this purple metallic grape. The writing is very small. And when you use these, they're like smudge pencils. Then you can take your finger and rub them, gelatos, and it smears a little bit. And if you take and wet your finger in your water jar, got a little bit of water on my finger, and watch it move. It moved a little more. And that's considered shimmery. I consider that shimmery. This one, and I also like this one. It's kind of a gold. It's a gold. Uh, and there's I think a blue one. I got several over here. I'm just looking for the shiny ones. Oh, this one's shiny. This one I considered shimmery. And let's see if I can get it to shine for you. The white one shines real good. The other ones don't shine yet. Let's see if I can get them to shine. I'm going to rub the white one with my finger. That's how you use them. You put them on your art page, and you can put them around words or around the border or just here and there and you'll get a sparkle from it. Now here's the gold. And here's the green. I'm going to show you. This is after our rubbing. And the white one still shimmers the most. And now I'm going to show you what it looks like. Hi, Joyce. Good morning, Joyce, with water. And I'll go across the top. So you can see they smear with water. And then when you dry it with a hair dryer, that heat sets it to be permanent. I was trying to show some shimmer. I'm failing. I'm failing with my shimmer test. The white one still shimmers. Nope, I'm not getting any shimmery. The sun just came out in my window and changed my lighting a little bit. But anytime you get a prompt and it says glitter, use glitter. You can use anything that's shiny, whether it's a gelato pencil, a a gel pen shimmers, a metallic gel pen, and I can probably show you that. Let's see where my gel pens are. I got a few gel pens. Let's see what they say. This is a gel pen. It doesn't say it's fluorescent. It's an orange fluorescent. But I've had some of them in this gel pack or in this pen pack that some of them were shiny, and I think I've used my silver one up. I think this might be a glitter pen. This is a gold glitter gel pen. So this would be considered glitter. Add when it says add glitter, there it goes. It's shiny. It does have some real glitter on it, but the gold shines too. So there are your options, and for those of you that just came in, I was showing off my glitter collection. Looky here. I put my glitter in salt and pepper shakers. So, and I store them on top of my little cabinet over here. They sit out all the time. So if I get a prompt that says add glitter, and if I want, I can put just a little bit of glue down, shake my glitter out, and I'm done. No mess, no fuss. And you can go right across your artwork with it, with a little bit of glue, and then you just shake your glitter on top of it. And what I like to do is get this on my glue, and then I shake the rest of it off in the garbage, because I'm not dumping it on, I'm sprinkling it on, and there's not that much uh, left over here on this for me to pour back into the jar. So I get a really good buy on my glitter at the secondhand store. So I'm not worried about that little bit of leftover, but I'm going to shake it off and I'll show you how much of it stays on. Okay. Hang on. I tap it on the side of the garbage can. And here's the end results. So a lot of it stayed on and very little of it really shook off. Easy peasy. Yes, Cheryl, I love my sunshine. Joyce, your lawn needs mowing or your weeds need mowing. I understand that. Joe cut the grass this week. We in the wintertime, you don't have to cut it as often, but it does grow down here in Florida. So I just wanted to show you that. And the next thing I'm going to show you is um, a lot of you were here last night, and we had a party, and Lisa, Mike Conley from My Eclectic Life, uh, we were talking about, and Janet, we were talking about journalings by 5. And a few years back, um, Janice Green, is that the better name? Janice Green. she did these journaling by 5 journals, and it turned into a game, and they were mailing their journals back and forth to each other. But the the name of the game is called Journaling by 5's, and the idea is you've got 5 prompts, and the first prompt is paint and stencils and tape. That means the first time you get a blank piece of paper, the first thing you use on your page is one of those things. You don't have to use them all, but you can if you want to. And we are going to do this game. And I'm going to demonstrate the game today and show you my old books that I did journaling by 5's with. So the second prompt, and the thing about these prompts is you get 15 minutes to do 15 or 20 pages. And the first thing you do is paint, stencil, and tape on all of your pages. That is the prompt. For 15 minutes, you get to work in your book, and you have like 20 pages in your book. And we use a lot of wax paper in between the pages so they don't stick. Because when you flip a page and it's not dry yet, because you got to move on because you've only got 15 minutes to do 20 pages. It really flies by really fast, and it's so much fun. You laugh the whole time. So then the timer goes off, right? So then we would take our book and mail it to our partner, and they would mail their book to you. And then you play the game again, but you're going to use the second prompt. And you only get 15 minutes to decorate your partner's 20 pages. So this says texture or decoupage, one or both, one or the other or both. So it's like a round robin, correct? And it's it's really fun because everybody's textures and everybody's decoupage is different. So I usually have a an envelope beside me at all times with little things in it, images and cutouts. And this was a piece of Tim Holtz uh, tissue paper, and I cut it was like an old catalog, Sears and Roebuck catalog. So I cut the items up out of the tissue paper, and I stuck them in this little envelope. And I've got some magazine clippings in here. I've got some old movies. This came out of a movie catalog. This came off of an old calendar. Uh, calendars have that big picture, but on the very back page, they got all 12 pictures in little tiny cutouts. So I cut them out. So little images out of magazines and catalogs. So if I need to decoupage or add a picture to my page, they're right here already cut out, ready to use. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm glad you got on the big computer. My phone doesn't have a big screen either. So anyway, let me put some of this glitter away, and I'll show you this book. So this is another fine example of when it says use glitter, you've got access to your glitters real fast and convenient. It's convenient. And it keeps it in order and not so messy. So that is my glitter. Now I like to use uh, wallpaper pages down for my desktop, and you see all that there that came out of my glitter jars, that where I was flipping them upside down. I just take and put this in the garbage can, and I've got most of my glitter contained. Most. So this is just a piece of wallpaper out of a wallpaper book, and I use these for my drop cloths for my desk to keep my desk clean. I've got several layers. Okay, let's see if I have any information. This is another one I did in 2016, and this was done in 2017. And I don't know that I've ever done any more since. Now, this one here, this book was inspired by Cat Hand. Uh, I like to watch her too. I watch Cat Hand a lot, and I watch Janice Green too. Um, and her prompts were a little bit different than Janice. The main thing is that we all have the same prompts. We write the same prompts down, so we all are kind of on the same page. Where, where, where row? Tell me where what? Um, okay, Kim, you need to get organized. That is, oh, your settings. Okay. All right. Anyway, I'm going to do a flip through on this one, and this is just a regular notebook paper, school notebook, and I took the pages and glued two or three together to make it stiff first. I did that first, and then I did my pages. This one's got glitter. Woo! And that way I think there's 20 pages in here, and that's the whole notebook, and I just kept gluing the pages together until I got 20 pages. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's about 20. Okay. So anyway, the very first time I flipped through my book, I did paint ink for the background on 20 pages, and I had my timer set for 15 minutes. Then I did collage and recycle for 15 minutes. And it might have been the next day. It didn't have to be all at once. Then the third prompt was stamping and stencils with patterns for the third prompt. And I did that for 15 minutes on 20 pages. Then I added words or images for a focal point for 15 minutes on each page, for 20 pages. And then the next time I did pen and pencil for details. And that would be in the doodle department. Mary would like that. So that would finish your page. So here are my pages. This was the first one. I've got texture paste on it. I've got images and words. And these images came out of a wallpaper book border. If you all have any questions, let me know, or if I'm going too fast. And then there's also a napkin on the background. That was the collage part, decoupage part. It says recycle or collage, and that must have been the napkin. And of course, there's paint. It looks like there's blue paint and white paint on the background, on the bottom. But I love it. I think it turned out to be a pretty page. Here's Here's the next one. And there's my image. There's Bandit. Bandit came to my house last night. There's words. There's background paint is pink and green. And I'm trying to see how I put it on there. I don't know how it went on there because of the way it's painted on. It doesn't look like a credit card, but it's put on there. Paint and ink, collage, recycle. Recycle would be the strips of brown paper on the very bottom layer. Stamping and stencils. I don't see stamping or stencils. So I guess this could be a pattern. I've got these stripes on there. And then I've got words and images. And then I've got detailing. And I doodled around some of the words. And like I said, every page is going to be different because you're in a hurry. You only got 15 minutes to do each prompt. So this also helps you to break a blank page. If you say, well, how do you do art journaling? Where do you come up with the ideas? How do I get started? Well, this is a good game to play. And the prompt games that we play in Lisa's and Aunt Beck's creations, she does the Dirty Dozen, and Lisa does a Pick 10. Those are good games to break that blank page syndrome so that you don't have to think about what to do because they're telling you what to do. And in this one, you get a hint of what to do, and then you have to decide the color and how much and how fast you're going to go. You can spend all your 15 minutes on one page, but then you've got all these other blank pages. So the idea and the good part is to do a little bit so that you can move on to the next page. This page is cute. Underneath of it looks like a hot mess. And it looks like I bet I did this on the jelly plate. It looks like jelly plate or maybe jelly print paper. No, it's on the lines. So it's got purple and orange paint on the background. My collage and recycle. I don't know how that I see anything from the trash can is what I consider recycle. But if I had all these cutouts already cut out of scraps, maybe they were a scrap and I punched them out. Hi Janet, good morning. We're having a cup of coffee and we're talking about journaling by 5. Janet wants to play. So I'm just kind of talking about different things that you can do with your prompts. And this morning I talked about glitter. But now we're talking about the different kind of prompts on each page. So I don't see any stenciling or stampings, but I've got punch outs because I was looking for patterns. And then my focal point would be words and images. And I've got a lot of words and images. It says, my mother taught me there's always room for people and things you love. So guess what I love? Give your best friend more. You can make a difference. Art notes. Live well. Say yes to happy skin. In with the old. Isn't that the truth? We save the old stuff, don't we? We do save the old stuff. This page started out being yellow, and you can see here I had probably a brayer or a paintbrush, and I rolled it off on this page. This is not the focal point, this is, but you can obviously see, or maybe I shut the page and it stuck. This might have been the one time when I said, oops, I better put some wax paper down. Journaling by 5's is so much fun to do. That is true. But I started out with paint and ink background. That would be with the yellow. And then it says collage or recycle for textures and scraps. I collaged all of these scrappy pieces of paper here, and I kind of did it. My idea was it was around the nest. The nest would have been my images, but I probably collaged it down so that I could put these around it first. And then I had a bird in the nest. And then I added stamping and stencils with a pattern. Um, I don't see any stamping or stenciling, but these scraps of papers is my pattern. And then I've got words. That is one good thing about this world. There are always sure to be more springs. That's good. And spring's almost here, guys. So, and then my pen and pencil for the details, I just went and outlined all of these spikes, which is the extension of my nest. So that's what I did on that page. Here's a pink page. I used pink and a darker pink, a light pink and a dark pink. And I'm not sure how I put it on there with a brayer or oh, this has also got a spray on it. I see the spray. It's an alcohol ink spray, pink. So that would have been my collar, my collage and recycle. I probably found this red paper and collaged down this picture. And then it says words. And so words is straight from the heart, fully enjoy the love, and warm hearts. And then that was my words. And I might have added the bike as another image. And then the pen and pencil is detailing. So I went around the hearts with a black pen marker. Good morning, if anybody's coming in. I hope y'all are caught up with what I'm talking about. Homemade glimmer sprays. Well, I tell you what, my sprays are homemade. And mine don't glimmer, but mine are markers that don't work anymore. Instead of throwing them away, I recycle these. And I bought these bottles at Walmart, and they just so happen to have colored bottles. So the blue is blue, blue ink. So I would take my pliers and open this marker up if it didn't work anymore, and I would pull out the foam that's in the middle that has all the ink in it. It has a plastic coating around it, and I cut the coating off, pull the cotton out, and I poke the cotton down in my bottle. And I originally started out with alcohol, but you can also do it with water. And somebody said something the other day to be careful with your alcohol sprays and not to breathe the alcohol. And I thought that was a good healthy tip. And so whenever mine get gets low again, I'm going to just add water instead of alcohol. And they spray. And I'll give you a demo. That's my alcohol spray. You should be in a vented area when you use this. I'm in a big room with a ceiling fan. It's been watered down. And it's kind of light blue right now. So what I need to do is remove the old cotton and put me in some fresh cotton off of some markers. And I've got a drawer down here where I stash all my old markers that don't work anymore. I don't throw them away. So that's how you can make your own spray. See, here's the yellow one. And the cotton is already out. Okay, I'm going to move on. Yes, Janet, you're right. The only thing good about alcohol sprays is that they do dry fast, they evaporate. I've used eyeshadow, yes, like pan pastels. And I've also one of my eyeshadows I got from the Dollar Tree, and I've used it in my art. This is eyeshadow. And you can mix it in your textured paste. You can mix it with your glue, or you can use it like a pan pastel. Yes, you can use markers on your journaling by fives. Nope, it doesn't matter if it's washable or permanent. When you do the journaling by fives, all products, all art products, craft products, made up products, homemade products, store bought products, anything that comes from the craft shop is game for any of these prompts. If you think it fits and goes towards the first one, the first prompt is something for the background: paint, ink, eyeshadow, uh, nail polish, anything for the background is up for grabs. And that's another thing. Before we play this game, I'm going to make a master sheet and write down all of the examples of prompts that you can use in your journaling by fives to help you get your ideas moving. Yep. And Teresa, uh, eyeshadows and baby powder can both be used in your art. You can make texture paste out of the baby powder, mix it with a little bit of glue. Maybe if it's real thick, you could add a little water to it, and it's the powder, the baby powder makes the texture. That's the sand. You can also use real sand in your texture for textured paste. Yes, glue. You add glue for the with it to make texture paste. Yes. And if it's real thick, if you're using thick, if the glue is too thick and you mix it with the baby powder, you can add some water to it so that it makes it spreadable, because you want it kind of like butter, thick, but not clumpy. So if it gets real clumpy, you can add water to it. And I bought me some texture paste from like Michael's, and I've had this jar for a year, and it's called modeling paste. Um, and then other languages calls it mortar, pasta, para, modular. So, and this is the same stuff I think that they use in the hardware department called spackle, and you use it to patch your holes in your walls when you're repainting, and you take the pictures down off the walls and you patch the holes. This is the same sort of stuff. Teresa needs recipes. Okay. Anybody want to share recipes? What do you want a recipe for? Food or texture paste? Both. Yes. And also, I want to show you this. This is what I do with my baby powder too. This is another little project. This is a piece of fabric, and it was just a square. And I took baby powder and I dumped it in the middle of it, and then I pulled all of the corners up, and I put a rubber band around it. And when you touch this pad down on your paper, there leaves behind a minute amount of powder. You see these little bags that the gymnasts use on the Olympics, and it's chalk where they're trying to dry their hands. That's what this does. Um, in particular, I've used baby powder, talcum powder, Gold Bond, and this one has my perfume powder in it from the bathroom. This is my expensive perfume. I was out of baby powder, and so there's not a whole lot in it. And so I used my perfume powder, and it's got glitter in it, shimmer. So when you put it on your body, you get a little shimmer. I'm demoing. I don't know if you can see the shimmer or not, but it does. It has a shimmer to it. Very mild, a mild shimmer. You can see it right there. Dollar Tree has spackle too. Yes, that is so cool. And like I said, I bought this at the art store. It's like liquid Liquitex, and this I don't remember how much it was because it's so old. And when it dries out, I keep the lid on it all the time. But when it does dry out, you can add a little water to it to moisten it up. And so that's good to know. And I was going to look here on the ingredients and see what this has in the ingredients. This particular product is made in France. Ooh la la. It talks about, I have to get my magnifying glass out to read it. Phew. It says here, it's used as a prep of marble dust and polymer emulsion. So that means it's like sand and some clay. Polymer emulsion would be something like a clay. It dries slowly to a hard surface. It's permanent, non-yellowing. It's water resistant when dry. And you can mix it with acrylic paint. Can apply paint to surfaces and then dry. I guess use it as a base, like a gesso. It can be cracked and sanded. I can't, there's stuff on it. I can't see it. It will crack if applied to flexible surfaces. If you're using flexible surfaces, use Liquitex flexible molding paste. It says do not mix with oils. Used to build heavy textures in a three-dimensional form on rigid supports, so you can sort of sculpt with it. But I think this is made out of clay and real fine marble dust, which is a like a sand texture paste. Okay, Teresa's cooking. And since she told us what we're going to have, cat head biscuits. Okay, since she told us the menu, I think that was an immediate invitation. So we'll all be over. Hi, Joycey. We're talking about journaling by 5's. And I think we're going to start a game with it. We're working on it. Details. Janet and Lisa and some other of us were talking last night about doing a journaling by 5. I guess it would be a hop. That's where we would have our journal books playing, and we would do the first stage at home, and then we mail our book to our partner, back and forth for each stage. But the details about the game will be later when we play. I'm just showing you my old books as an example. But anyway, this pounce pad I was talking about in this fabric with the rubber band around it, if you have a sticky page that sticks, where you've had a lot of Mod Podge or a lot of glue on it and the pages stick, you can take and just lightly rub this over your page because it's just powder. And this one smells really good because it's got my perfume powder in it. And that's what I also do with powder, baby powder, besides the paste. Okay, the next page is, let's see, the background was yellow and orange. It could have been yellow and red because that makes an orange. Because that looks really dark right there, like it might have been a red. So that was my background. Collage and recycle. I have a magazine tree cut out right here. I have a house cut out. So that would have been recycled from a magazine. I don't see anything out of my garbage. This sunshine might have come out of the garbage as a piece of scrap paper. And look what I did to the sun. I used my glitter, my handy dandy glitter jars. I used salt and pepper shakers for my glitter jars. So I just did a little dab of glue, sprinkled my glitter off on it, and then shake it in the garbage, and I'm ready to to go on to the next page. Let's see, I did words and images. Got a bunny. I got Peter Rabbit, Peter Tail, greetings neighbor, and I've got pen and pencil, and I drew a bird. I drew a bird on the house with my pen and pencil. I drew a bird over here too. And I have a stencil that has this bird. So I could have used that stencil and then drew it with an ink pen instead of, using it as a stencil. I used it with the pen. Okay, here's a good example of some paint, and I had extra paint, too much paint on there, and I probably shut the page, rubbed it, and opened it back up, and then it dried faster. But I used blue and yellow paint for my background. Collage recycle. This square mosaic is a piece of wallpaper, and that's what the recycling was. I cut it apart and put the squares down to make it look like cobblestone. And then stamping and stencils. I don't see any stamping or stencils that I can see, but my words and images come up I can see that. See, I could have covered the stamping and stencils up with the big pictures when I collaged the pictures. Words and images, um, many marvels of the Sunshine State, Florida, outdoor living, and neutral territory. And I thought that went good with the sand being neutral color. And then pen and pencil, all I did was circle some of my signs and outline and moved on. Okay, brainstorm away. When we organize the game and start trading back and forth, we'll give you good directions so that you'll know what to do. On this page, paint and ink. Well, obviously, I did my pink spray because this is a spray. I did pink alcohol spray for my background. Then I collaged and recycled. These here were garbage, and I had used this scrapbook paper and punched a flower out, and these are the negatives. So that's the recycled part. And then it says stamping and stencil patterns. And I don't see any stamping or stenciling other than I see glitter glue. I don't remember. See, I did this in 2016, so I don't know what the stamping or stenciling is. Words and images would be the fairy, which came off of a piece of wallpaper, and then out of the magazine, Make It Merry, and it all begins with thought. And then pen and pencil, I'm going to say is my glitter glue pen where I doodled all over it with the glitter pen or a glitter one of these type of glitter bottles with the pointy tip. I probably used that for my pen on this page. I also outlined this in magic marker, so that was also my pen and pencil for the details. No, I did this on my own, Cheryl. I did this a long time ago in 2016, and this particular journal was inspired by Cat Hand. And Janice Green, I think, I don't know where she came up with the idea. I think she made it up. I think Janice Green made it up. Well, you're not going to mail one page. You're going to mail the whole booklet to each other. And we're going to talk more about that later. The way the game is played is you get a notebook. And if you're going to mail it, then you don't really want one like with a spiral. You want one of those composition books that has a paper a spine. I might have one. Instead of looking for it right now, I'm sure I have one up there somewhere with a paper spine. But I'm not. I have to climb up there to get it. I'll get it down for the next time we talk about it. This is just the beginning of us talking about this game, and everybody can play. Anybody who wants to play can play. And this particular journal I did with Janice Green, and I did this in 2017. And the rules were for her 5 prompts was paint and stencil or tape. That means you could use for your background for the very first page, the blank page, you would use something with paint, stencils, or tape. And that can be scotch tape, washi tape, duct tape, electrical tape, masking tape, any kind of tape. Then that would be for 15 minutes and 20 pages. And that's what you would put on each of the 20 pages. You would do a background. And then the next one, then you would mail your book to somebody. Okay, you'd have a partner and you could mail your book back and forth. So that you would get their book and you send your book to them. Okay, so when you get their book, they've already put down paint and color, right? So you're going to do the second prompt, and you've got 20 pages to decorate texture or decoupage, and you got 15 minutes to do it in for 20 pages. This game is to just it's kind of some people have a hard time making a decision on what to put on the they don't know what to put down. They're afraid of the color won't be right, or they're afraid that what they put on won't match. This doesn't matter if it matches or looks good or looks bad. This does not matter, because in the end all of your pages are going to look beautiful. I promise. It's something that you do together with your partner, and um, and we're going to give you examples of all of the prompts later on. I'm going to do a master sheet, and we're going to sit down and make a list like Mary's list, and we're going to put down background. What can we use for a background? And we're going to make a list of all of the things we can do for a background. And then the second one in this book was texture, decoupage. The third one was pictures. The fourth one was words or text. And the fifth one was doodle. And I did 25 pages, and I did them untimed. I took my time on this particular book because I did it by myself and I was having fun doing it. So I might have uh, did half of it, went and fixed dinner, and come back and do the other half, or something. Or I did it in one day and started working on. I did it over a period of time. But this is very similar to it's a journal page. It's a journal page. You've got your background, you've got texture, decoupage, you've got your image, your focal point, and you've got a good word to go with it. And then you can doodle as a last resort, put a border on, just trace around the picture and the word, and you're done with your journal page. So anyway, this was another journal page. Some of my journal pages. So I think what I'm going to do, if you want, we're going to go ahead and just start our list. And if y'all have any questions or you want to see something again, let me know. And I'll be glad to show this book to you again or something. So I like the front of this book, and I'm going to have these by my side, and I'm going to get some paper, and I think I'm going to use a cardstock for stability here. So we're going to make a list, and this is the way Mary makes her list. And we're going to start off with prompt number 1 is backgrounds. What can you use for a background? And you all type it back to me, and I will write everything down that you say. What can you use for a background? paint. Paper for a background. Stencils. Good morning, Eva. Trying to keep him busy. He's raring to go. It's 10:30 where I am. I'm on the East Coast. Book pages. Alcohol inks. I'm gonna start adding some of mine. I know what I want to say. I'm going to put sprays, because that could be ink uh, or water sprays. Janet just put up a recipe for gesso. You can make black gesso. I've got gray gesso, and in the white, you can also add a little color to it on your. And see, that's another one. Gesso could be used for a background, and you can tint it. Cereal boxes, cardboard, boxes, cereal boxes, cracker boxes. Oh, that's really cute, Teresa. She takes her cardboard boxes, cuts them to size, and runs them through her embossing Big Shot or Cuttlebug and all those machines. I don't have any of that. I don't have that yet. You could put washi tape for a background. We're talking backgrounds. For anybody just come in, yes, Eva, we want to play a game called Journaling by 5's. And we learned about it on the internet from other girls. And I've done it before, but it's been like a couple years. So we're getting ideas so that when we do play the game, we can think of products that we can use that we don't think about using them in an art page. We could use bubble wrap for a background page. Any kind of plastic wrap, foil, parchment paper, and wax paper. While we're saying it. Oh, the bead rolling paint, that would be the marble painty papers. And for anybody who doesn't know what marble painting papers are, I'll show you one or two. You take your paper and put them in a box, and you have a bag of marbles from the Dollar Tree, and you put some paint on the marbles and roll the marbles back and forth in your box, and you make this design on your paper. And these are made with marbles. So that would be a good background. And there is a video on it. Hi, Holly. Hello to anybody else who's come in. I don't know who else is in here. There's 19. So we're making a list on what items can you use for a background. Joyce, did you lose your marbles? I lost mine, but I found them in my box. Masking tape, magazine scraps. Okay. And I'm going to put all tape. So we could just include all the tape, any kind of tape. So we don't have to list each tape. It's tape. that's clear tape. That's packing tape, masking tape, paper tape, duct tape, any kind of tape. It could be wallpaper. I think it's wall tape that you use to tape the seams down of the drywall tape. Yeah, it includes drywall tape. All the tape. And Janet is multitasking, and she's giving out gesso recipes and the texture paste recipes. So anything for making a background, Joycey, what would you use for a background? If you had a blank piece of paper, what would you like to put down for a background? Yes, silver duct tape. All of that is included in tape. Any kind of tape. That's wonderful for a background. Yes, the silver tape is kind of like foil tape. It's sticky on the back. Electrical tape, plumber's tape. Now, the thing about plumber's tape, I've tried it too. It doesn't have enough sticky on the back, so you might have to glue it down. But yes, you can use that. You can use plumber's tape. You can use pictures. You can use images. You can use magazines, books. You can use junk mail, napkins. Very good. Junk mail for a background. Do anything that's collageable. You can use tissue paper for a background. Very good. Found objects. Very good. Now, a found object would be like something that's laying on your desk or something like a paper clip. You could glue that on your background, do a scatter a bunch of them on there, glue them all down. Okay, Teresa, make some coffee. I'm sipping on mine. I still got mine. Girls, I went to the secondhand store and I bought me this little guy here. It's a coffee warmer pad. It's a little hot plate, and it's hot. It's too hot for me to touch it, and it keeps my coffee lukewarm. It's not hot. It's just, but it is warm. I think I paid $1 for it. and I keep a coffee cup on it all day, and then I turn it off at night. Fabric scraps, very good. Material, because that would include any kind of fabric, any kind of material, any kind of felt, any kind of uh, uh, canvas, any kind of fabric, and also with fabric and notions, sewing things. What about lace and yarn and ribbon and threads? Um, you could take a piece of red thread and put it on a white piece of paper, lay it down and glue, just lightly glue your paper, and just take your string and go make any kind of this swirly design, or throw it on there and pat it down, and you're done. Anything. Very good. Okay, Cheryl's ready. She's all tanked up with her coffee. She's ready to go. Okay. We're thinking backgrounds right now. What can you use for a background? Um, how about stamping, inks, stamping, stamps, like, your rubber stamps. We said stencils, and stamps would be good. I could do a whole page of hearts, you know, and I've got different colored of ink that I can use. And you can also use some of your stamps in a little bit of watered down paint. I take a lid, put a little bit of paint in here, and maybe use your paintbrush to add just a little bit of water to it, make it soupy, and you can splatter with your paint. So paint, which is the very first one we used, paint can be used in a lot of different ways, because you can splatter it, you can stamp it, you can make marks in it, you could use it on your jelly plate and slap your book on the jelly plate. So paint is a big product, and there's so many different ways that you can use it. So this is why I'm wanting to fix up ideas of what you can do for a background page. How can you break that white blank page? And I think we've come up with a lot of things. Of course, we got markers and colored pencils. And see what else. Anybody's coming up with anything? Okay, Teresa. Okay. All righty. We'll see you later. Okay. Yes, painty papers, marble paper. Uh, Paper would include scrapbook paper, construction paper, uh, paper out of a book, paper out of a dictionary, music paper. Paper is there's coloring pages that you could put in, uh, coffee stain papers, all kinds of paper. There's tons of paper. Paper alone, we could make a list of just for paper. There's grafting paper, stationery. I've got typing paper, uh, onion skin paper, mulberry paper. I've got homemade paper. Um, that's another project someday. If you ever want to learn how to make paper, I can show you how to make homemade paper. Um, paper. Junk mail is paper. And all paper. Coffee filters, tea bags. Even toilet paper. Paper towels.
According to Wikipedia.org,
Oh, my
owls are
heavens.
birds from the order Strigiformes, which includes about 200.
Excuse me. My Siri picks up my voice over here on my big computer, and it's never done that before I started streaming. And I think it must have downloaded and updated a bunch of stuff when I downloaded Google Chrome. Well, now, Joyce, we're talking about clean toilet paper, okay? We want the clean paper. Toilet paper rolls, recyclable items. So breakfast can be breakfast. Listen to me, Joyce. Joyce is going out for breakfast. Save us a seat. We'll be over shortly. Joyce, I know you understand. Hi, Lori. We're talking about journaling by 5's. It's a game that we're going to play in the near future. Lisa and Janet's gonna help head it up, and we'll have to talk about uh, some of the rules that we want to put in and our ideas. And I was talking about how I did it a couple of years ago, and Shannon Green. I think Shannon Green made the game up and started it, and it's been viral ever since. And it's a fun game. It's how to blank. What do you put on a piece of a blank paper? How do you get started? How do you get started? So we were talking about backgrounds, and you use paint, stencils, book pages, alcohol sprays, inks, water, gesso, cardboard boxes, washi tape, bubble wrap, plastic wrap, foil, all kinds of parchment paper, wax paper, painty papers, marble papers, um, masking tape, magazines, all kinds of tape, which include duct tape, electrical tape, plumber's tape, scotch tape, all of the tape families, magazine images, anything out of an old magazine would be good for a background. Any kind of picture. It could be a picture in junk mail, a picture out of an old textbook, a recycled old dictionary, music paper. Paper includes all kinds of paper. We've got napkins, we've got junk journal, tissue paper, found objects would be fine for a background. You can also use fabric and notions, scraps of material, um, fabric, lace, yarn, uh, canvas, felt, all kinds of fabric. And then you got your laces and your ribbons and your threads. You've got stamps and markers, colored pencils, all kinds of paper, more paper. We got coffee filter, tea bags, toilet paper, and paper towels to finish all that up. So this gives you a good idea of what you have on hand to put on a blank piece of paper. And you're right. This is also for the second phase. The second phase is collage and recycle. Number one is background. Number 2 is collage and recycle. This is for texture and scraps. And all of these things from the first can be incorporated with the second stage. But for example, if somebody's already got some paint down, you can still add some paper or some recyclings. Yeah, the first one is something for color, something for color. So all of these things can be used in that manner. You just need to get something down, and then the second step is to rearrange, maybe rearrange some of those things or add to. Yes, crayons and markers is crayons. You can use crayons. Yes, you can use pens and pencils. Anything to mark, to make a background. And then for this, that'd be like for the first 15 minutes, and then that's the first layer on your page. And then you're going to trade your book with a partner, and you're going to get their book, and then you have 15 minutes to do collage and recycling. So you're going to add on top, and it might not be a big something really big. It might be something in the corner. It might be just one little piece of napkin or one little piece of tissue paper. It doesn't have to be a lot. And then again, you may want to put a strip of a napkin or a strip of a piece of cardboard for texture. You may use texture paste with a stencil on top of the color. So textures and recycle and collage would be like your textured paste. And added items, added paper, items, and items. So you could you could still add like a handful of paper clips. That would be textured if you glue them down on top of the paint. Yes, you can use aluminum foil for a background, as well as parchment paper, wax paper, uh, and we also said aluminum duct tape, which is a foil tape that plumbers use and electricians use. This is for a game that we're going to play in the next couple of weeks. We're going to start a game of journaling by 5's hop. And so we're talking about how to play the game, and we're talking about the prompts. There's 5 prompts in this game, and I have demonstrated my journaling by 5's. This was done in 16, and I took a notebook, a spiral notebook, and I glued all the pages, 2 and 3 pages together. And I ended up with about 20 pages in here altogether. So the first time I played the game, I had a blank piece of paper, and the first prompt was do a background with paint or ink. So I went through all 20 pages and laid down color. And I did pink and green and yellow and blue. I did all the colors on each page, and I put wax paper in between, and I let all that dry. Then we're going to take our journals and we're going to mail them to our partner. And they're going to do the second step on my book. And I'm going to do the second step on their book when I get their book. So it's journaling by fives and it's a game. So anyway, we were making a list for each of the prompts to give you ideas of what you have on hand and what you can use. You know, like if you don't have paint, well, then you might use a crayon for color. And if you don't have any markers or anything, well, maybe you can tear up some paper and put down for color. You could do shades of blue out of a magazine. Shades, pick a color and then start looking for that color and put it pieces down, and that would be your background. Okay, Janet, thank you. Shannon Green started playing this, several years ago, and she had a game that she made up that went viral all over the crafting community in the world. And we all started doing journalings by five. How to get something down on a piece of blank paper. How do you start? The game kind of goes fast because you have 15 minutes for each prompt. And it doesn't give you time to fiddle faddle around. You have to make a decision. Paint. Well, it doesn't matter what color. Just pick the color and go. Pick 2 colors and go. Pick 3 colors. It doesn't matter how many colors. If you can't do 2 colors, then just do 1 color. If you can't handle putting paint on with a credit card, then use a brush. If you can't handle putting paint on, then use colored pencils. Bye, Sue. So we're just in the beginning of this, of learning how to do journalings by fives. I know most of you know how to do it, and you've already done it. And that's why we're writing some things down, making a list. And this way you can figure out what you have on your desk that you can use for backgrounds. Then you can decide what to have for the second prompt, which would be collage and recycle, make some texture. Okay? And then we're going to move on to the third one, the third prompt, which is you putting a pattern down. Stamping and stencils are examples of patterns. And if you want, you can tell me what other patterns you might have, whatever items you might have to make a pattern. And we're not talking about the product as far as paint goes, because we've already got paint. But whatever you would use to make a pattern with, you could have decorative scissors. That would make a pattern. So if you had some paint down and you had a couple of pieces of cardboard for texture, then you might take some more paper, like a accent paper or a scrapbooking paper, cut a few strips off with the pattern scissors and glue them around the edge or something for your pattern. And then you would move on to the next page and think of something to do for that page. And it might be the same thing. Well, Holly, when Janet made the game up, that was just a twist to get you to hurry up and make a decision and don't dwell on, well, what should I do? How do I do it? What am I going to do? I can't think of anything to do. That's why we're making the list, so that when it comes time for this next prompt, you've got 15 minutes to decorate 20 pages. And it's to get you to hurry up and make a decision without thinking about it. We just want you to put something down on the paper, whether it's right or wrong. Just do it and move on. And this is kind of a therapy to help you do your own journal page later on. I don't have a problem doing journal pages because I've done this therapy, this game, and it has helped me be more creative in my artwork. It helps me to be fast when I play those pick 10 games and the Dirty Dozen games. Well, Holly, this would be a very good game for you to join in and play with, because when they say pick a background, pick a color, you won't have time to be creative. You just have to pick whatever comes into your hand. This is it. This is the background. It's the first one on top. Stickers could be a pattern. And a lot of these other prompts that we mentioned can also be patterns. Like a washi tape is a pattern because of the design on the washi tape. And you could put a big old strip of it on here, if it doesn't already have it on there. So a lot of these same backgrounds are the same for these other prompts too. So if you don't have it already down, then say, okay, that's my next pattern. And you made a decision. So that's one of the reasons why this game was invented. Shannon has a problem of hurrying up and putting something down because she wants to plan and she wants to plan where she wants to put it and make sure it's right in the right corner or straight. Well, in this game, that don't count. You don't have to worry about whether it's straight or not. You don't have to worry about if it's in the right corner or not. You just put it on the page. If everything lands in the middle of the page, then that's the way the page ends. No planning, just do it. Exactly. So the reason why I'm going over the prompts is because I want you to think about that you have more options than you think. There's more things around you that you can use than you really are thinking about. Now, 3 was pattern. 4 is pretty self-explanatory. It's words or images or images. And that would be your focal point. So that's pretty explanatory too. And that particular prompt is something that I keep beside me all the time. I always have an envelope of little pictures. That would be an image. There's some butterflies, and I've got some scraps of wallpaper things that I've gotten out of a wallpaper book. There's some images. I could just glue a couple of those down and be done. I could use a magazine and get a picture out of a magazine. This is a picture of a fairy out of some wallpaper images. Here's a picture of a girl holding a ball. That's my focal point. Words. Inspiration is everywhere. Those were my words and my images. And a lot of times I have these already pre-cut and I've got pictures for ATCs already trimmed out so that when I want to do an ATC, I've got some images. Tie one on. and I put ribbon. It's ribbon with it. So that was my focal image. Here was a piece of fabric that we used for the other prompt for part of a background is or part of a texture would be fabric, and it's also a background. My background was obviously purple, and I used a brayer, and then I rolled it off over here, rolled the excess off over here, put a piece of wax paper down, and then I went on to the next page to do the background. Then when I come back to do the texture, I glued down this fabric. It's part of a bandana, and I've got some tulle on here, lacy stuff for texture. So then it said pattern. Well, look at here. I've got this paper here that is a pattern. It's a borderline. It came out of a magazine, and there was all colors of each. Every time they came to a new chapter in a magazine, a different color came up, and I cut this out because it was a pattern. Okay. So you see how I come up with some of the ideas. So words and images. I also print out on my computer. I print out pages of words. I typed these into the computer and enlarged them, and then about every so often I'd change colors or I'd change the font. So when I get these words, I could cut one of these out and use them on my pages. And they're at my fingertips for words. I've got them up there in my sticker box. So there's words and images. Then the last one is 5 is details. So you can do pen or pencil, doodles, outlining. And that's the last step that you would put on each page, and you have 15 minutes to do it in. So the idea is not necessarily neat, but it's just doing through the motion and getting it on the paper and moving on to get all 20 pages done. And if you still have time left, then you can go back and spend some more time doodling. And what I did before my time ran out, I went and I took a magic marker and went around some of my images. I went around this sign, this words. I went around these words and these flowers, and I kept turning until I got done. And then if you have more time, you can flip through your book again and continue until the timer goes off. Yeah, I'll give you homework to watch Shannon Green, and Cat Hand also has some videos for journaling by 5's too, and that's where I did this one. This was my second one, and this one was my first one was by Cat Hand in 2016, and then I found Shannon, and then I did one for Shannon in 2017. There's 2017. So, and each time you do it, you're you might be in a different mood. The next year you might be into the paint, or you might be into the inking, or you might be into some other techniques that's your favorite, and that's fine. Or you can, I just wanted to give you enough examples so that you can, if you don't have a stencil, well, then you can make one, And let's see if I can find you an example of a homemade stencil. Here's a paper towel that I wiped some ink up with. That would be texture. I've got a box here, my salad box. It's a salad container that I washed out, and I put all my scrappies in here, and I can reuse my scrappies. And in a earlier world, in an earlier day, I would have thrown all these little scraps away, you know. But with my art, I can use this piece of lace. I can use that in my art. I can use this napkin. This was in a box that I found at a yard sale, and this is teachers used to put borders around the bulletin boards, and then they would decorate their bulletin boards, and that's what that was used for. But it's used. It could be used for recycling, or it could be used for. I can use it to make marks with in the paint. It could be a marking tool. And I can also use it as a stencil. I could lay it down and look, there's curvy lines, and I can make curvy lines all over my paper. I can do it with a pen, make the curvy lines, pick it up, move it, make some more curvy lines. I can go this direction with the curvy lines. I can go sideways. I can go every direction with the curvy lines all over the paper. So that would be a pattern. That would be a stencil. Uh, Here is an example of a stencil. And if you don't have any of the plastic stencils, but you have some of those punches, this was a circle punch that I have, and it's a scallop circle. And I made some scallops and used them for tabs or something. And I put this in my box, and this could be used for a stencil. And all I have to do is lay it down, and then I take a little sponge and a little bit of paint, and I dab it on there, or ink even. Dab it in the circles, and then when you lift it up, you've got a pattern, and you've used a homemade recyclable stencil. Hello to anybody that's come in. So, do I need to go on and show you more examples, or have you got it? Does anybody have any questions for me on some of the prompts or the game? We will explain the game again, and I'm going to let Lisa, and Janet decide on some of the rules. We'll have to pick partners who want to play, whoever wants to join in. And if you want to do it as a game, like a one-page game, I can do that. But not right this minute. And the next time I stream, maybe we'll do a journaling by 5's and do it on one page instead of 15 minutes for each prompt. Maybe we can just do 5 minutes or 2 minutes, and I can show you how fast it can go without any prep. You just you sort of have the titles of your prompts. That's all I need to get an idea. Yes, it will be. Oh, we'll drill it. We'll drill it so much into your head, Cheryl, you'll be dreaming about it. So anyway, I've been on for a little bit this morning, and I'm going to get off of here. It's 11:20 my time. So I need to get some things moving a little bit and get some things done today. So I'm gonna let you all go, and if there's no more questions right now, And for your homework is to go watch Shannon Green and Cat Hand, uh, Journaling by 5's. Just look through the titles until you see the titles. Oh, Deb, I'm sorry. We're talking about Journaling by 5's. Do you know that game? And right before we started talking about Journaling by 5's, I was showing off my glitter collection. And I have a collection of glitter, and I put them in salt and pepper shakers. Okay. Uh, and this was at the beginning of the video, and I demonstrated, how easy it is to use a salt and pepper shaker. And if you have the chunkier glitter, you have to have bigger holes in your salt in your shakers. And somebody had mentioned the pizza shakers that you use for the red peppers and the Parmesan or the cheese and things. They have bigger holes. Those are good for the chunkier glitter. But I have my glitter sitting up on top of the cabinet right here, so I can reach and grab one at any time, and it's convenient. So, but anyway, that's what I talked about this morning, and then we talked about journaling by 5's, and I showed you some of the pictures in my book, and I showed you the prompts that we are possible to use, and how easy it can be to put something down on a blank page without thinking too much about it. And it's a game that we're going to try to play, and we're going to use the composition books that don't have the metal. It won't be the metal. It'll be the cardboard end composition books. This book here is I think a magazine. It was a some kind of a brochure, because it had thicker paper than, it wasn't a magazine paper. It had cardstock paper pages in it. So I recycled it and made a little journaling by 5's book out of it for fun, just for me. I just did this by myself. I didn't play with anybody. I played with making the pages myself. Yes, I like Cat Hand, and I like Shannon too. I think I called her Janice for some reason, but I meant Shannon earlier in the video. It's Shannon Green. So anyway, I'm going to end it right there. Homework is for you to watch those videos, and we will be talking about it again. Uh, I'm going to get Janet involved, and I'm going to get Lisa involved, and we'll just, when we get together, talk, because we just talked about it, mentioned it last night, and my brain got so excited I had to come on this morning and talk about it a little bit. Okay. So I've been on since about 9:30, so I'm going to go ahead and get off so I can get some housework done, and maybe go over and see my mom, and get moving. Okay, everybody, you all have a good day, a good weekend, and I probably will see you tomorrow, Sunday. I don't know if I'm going to stream or not. I might stream before Tanya comes on, but Tanya will be on at 1 o'clock Central. I mean, 12 o'clock Central, and it's 1 o'clock Eastern. Okay. Bye, Zoe. Bye, Debbie. Bye, Cheryl. Bye, Joycey. So, okay, I'm going to sign off. Put the lid on my glue so it doesn't dry out.